Hey everyone, I'm really glad you're here, because this is one of those money topics that can quietly put real cash back in your pocket. Right now, cash isn't just sitting around doing nothing anymore. In many cases, it can earn around 3% to 5%, which means where you keep your money actually matters, maybe more than most people realize. And here's the key part. When inflation is lower than those returns, your money isn't just staying safe, it may actually be growing a little. So if you've got savings, an emergency fund, a tax refund, or just money you're not ready to invest yet, knowing where to park that cash could help you make a smarter move, without taking big risks. Before we go further, quick question for you. When you have extra money, do you usually leave it where it is, or move it around to earn more? Let me know in the comments now. Here's what's changed. For a long time, cash felt like the boring part of personal finance. It was just something you held while waiting to do something better, like investing in stocks, real estate, or crypto. But right now, cash is actually becoming a real player again. Why? Because interest rates are still high enough that even simple choices, like where you keep your savings, can make a noticeable difference. As of early April, high-yield savings accounts, up to approximately 5% no-penalty savings, around approximately 4.6% CDs, roughly approximately 4.25% at the top-end brokerage cash and treasuries, mid 3% to upper 4%. Meanwhile, inflation is around 2.4%. That's a big deal, because now some cash options are actually outpacing inflation. So the question isn't just, how do I keep my money safe? It's, is my money doing something while it waits? Let's make this real. If you've got $10,000, $25,000, or even just a few $1,000s, the difference between a low-paying account and a high-paying one can add up over a few months. Not life-changing money, but meaningful money. Enough to cover a bill, help with groceries, offset insurance, or just feel like your savings are finally doing something. So where should you actually keep your cash? 1. High-yield savings accounts. For most people, this is still the easiest and safest option. Why? Your money stays accessible, no lock-in period, perfect for emergency funds, because let's be honest, emergency money needs to be available immediately, not stuck behind penalties. The downside? Rates are variable, so they can drop over time. 2. Certificates of deposit, CDs. CDs are making a comeback, and it makes sense. When you open a CD, you lock in a fixed rate, you know exactly what you'll earn, you commit your money for a set time in uncertain times. That kind of certainty is valuable. For example, there have been short-term CDs offering around 5% APY for just a few months, with relatively low minimum deposits. That's especially useful for something like a tax refund. But here's the trade-off. If you need your money early, you'll likely pay a penalty. So again, it comes down to one thing. What is this money for? That question changes everything. Emergency fund? Right pointing arrow, stay liquid. High-yield savings? Money you won't touch for a few months? Right pointing arrow, consider a short CD. Waiting to invest or make a decision? Right pointing arrow, look at money markets, brokerage cash, or treasuries. There's no single, best option, just the best option for your situation. Here's something a lot of people miss. The gap between average rates and top rates is huge. For example, average 12-month CD, approximately 1.5% top-tier options, 4% plus. That's a massive difference. And most people aren't making a bad decision, they're just not making an updated one. They're sitting in accounts they opened years ago, earning almost nothing. That's what I call quiet inaction. It feels normal, but it can quietly cost you money. Now, behind all of this is the Federal Reserve. They've kept rates relatively high to control inflation, which is why savings accounts and CDs are paying more right now. But here's the catch. no one really knows what happens next. If rates drop, right pointing arrow, locking in a CD now could be smart. If rates stay high, right pointing arrow, flexibility might matter more. That's why cash strategy feels more active right now. Even small decisions matter. And let's not ignore the emotional side. Cash isn't just about returns, it's about peace of mind. Knowing your money is safe, accessible, earning something that matters, especially if you're risk-averse, retired, or just tired of market swings. That said, don't overdo it. You don't need to chase every tiny rate change. And cash, even at 5%, is not a replacement for long-term investing. It's a tool. A useful one, but still just part of a bigger plan. So here's the real takeaway. Don't let short-term money sit in the wrong place out of habit. If you've got an emergency fund, a tax refund, savings waiting for a decision, ask yourself one simple question. Is this money parked in the right place? Because right now, that small question can lead to a real result: more flexibility, more safety, and maybe a little more income than you expected.